One tense May morning, a New York courtroom turned into the biggest show in town, buzzing with excitement like a schoolyard at recess. Everyone's eyes were glued to actor Jamie Foxx as he bravely stepped up to testify in a huge case about his old pal, Sean Diddy Combs. Jamie's words were like a bright flashlight, ready to shine on some dark secrets about how power and money work in Hollywood's shiny world. Jamie once chuckled, "Man, I hang out with P. Diddy, you know. We party like crazy. I call him the Black Gatsby, 'cause he throws the wildest bashes." He shared this in his funny Netflix special, JAMIEFOX. What Had Happened Was, which you can stream right now. In that show, he also opened up about bouncing back after a super scary stroke last year that sparked all sorts of wild rumors online, like a game of telephone gone wrong. A 20-year friendship broke apart faster than a snapped pencil. What did Jamie say that made Diddy's jaw drop? Hollywood's never seen a betrayal this huge, like a plot twist in a blockbuster movie. Way back when, Jamie and Diddy were like peanut butter and jelly, always together at super fancy parties where only the coolest stars got invited. Those nights sparkled like glitter, full of big dreams, but secrets were swapped like trading cards, and fame sometimes cost way more than anyone should pay. In the chilly courtroom, with no music or flashing lights, Jamie stood tall in a plain gray suit, looking serious, ready to spill the truth. Something Diddy was totally scared of, like a kid afraid of the dark. Someone posted online, "I swear Diddy poisoned Jamie," and Jamie ran to the FBI to tell on him. Now Jamie wasn't the dazzling movie star or the loyal buddy anymore. He was like a superhero tearing down a villain's lies, and his words might keep Diddy locked up for good, like a bad guy in a comic book. What did Jamie see at those crazy parties? Why did he turn on the guy who helped him become a star? And is Jamie the key to cracking open Diddy's shady world, like finding the secret code to a locked treasure chest? This isn't a movie, it's real life, and you're about to hear secrets Hollywood's been hiding for 20 years, like a diary locked away in a vault. Jamie said, "Some folks might call me a snitch, but staying quiet would make me part of the mess. For 20 years I ignored the bad stuff 'cause I got cool rewards too, like fancy cars and invites to big parties. But today, I'm choosing to tell the truth, no matter how scary it is." Jamie stopped for a second, took a deep breath like he was about to jump into a pool, and looked around the quiet courtroom before locking eyes with Diddy. Diddy stared back, his eyes squinting like he was trying to scare Jamie even with the witness stand between them, like a bully on the playground. The charges, human trafficking, extortion and violence, already had everyone talking, like gossip spreading at school. But nobody thought Jamie, Diddy's old best friend from their fun days, would be the one to speak out. When Jamie walked into the courtroom, it got so quiet you could hear a pin drop. His hands were shaking like leaves in the wind. His eyes were red like he'd been crying, but his voice was strong as a lion's roar. "I'm here to show everyone who Diddy really is, a bad guy hiding behind a smile. I've seen what he did to me, to Cassie, and to so many others who didn't deserve it." That hit like a dodgeball to the face, sending shockwaves through Hollywood, like when a big secret gets out at school. Jamie, who used to shine like a star next to Diddy at fancy parties, was now calling him out, like telling the teacher about a bully. What made him do it? What pushed a huge star like Jamie, with all his movies and awards, to risk everything for the truth, like standing up to the biggest kid in class? He once said, "I didn't want you to see me weak, man. I wanted you to see me laughing, dancing, making movies, or cracking jokes on TV. But staying quiet let things get way out of hand, like a snowball rolling bigger and bigger. Some folks said I was blind, but look, my eyes work just fine. Some even said I was cloned. Ha, nope, I'm the real Jamie, thanks to awesome people and God keeping me here." Let's rewind to 2004, when Jamie got sucked into Diddy's wild world, thinking those dream parties were his ticket to the top, but they turned out to be a scary trap, like a haunted house. "I started hanging with Diddy in 2004, thinking it'd make my life amazing, like winning a golden ticket. I was so wrong. What I saw was like a bad dream. Diddy's not a nice guy. He's a monster in a fancy suit." In 2004, Jamie was on top of the world after his awesome role in Ray, which made him a superstar, like the coolest kid in school. He was full of talent and big dreams, but he got caught in Diddy's dark world of glitzy parties, huge power, and secret crimes hidden behind sparkly lights, like a wolf in sheep's clothing. Jamie once laughed, "This party cost $1.5 million. I told Diddy, 'Man, that's way too much. Come to my house in LA, I'll throw a better party for $400. He got mad 'cause he loves being known for the biggest, flashiest parties, like a king showing off his castle. Today, in this important courtroom, Jamie stood up carrying heavy emotional scars, like bruises you can't see, and rock-solid proof to show Diddy's true face. Not just a music star, but a bad bad guy who hurt tons of people, including Jamie, like a villain in a story. Jamie was a VIP at Diddy's famous white parties and wild freak-off events, where everything was fancy but dangerous, like a shiny apple that's rotten inside. Music blasted, million-dollar deals were made, and big shots hung out. Jamie's voice shook like a leaf as he spoke in court, his memories sharp as a tack. Getting invited by Diddy was like a dream come true, like being picked for the best team. I felt so proud, like I'd reached the top of the mountain, but in 6 months, it turned into a total nightmare, like waking up in a scary movie. At one of Diddy's secret freak-off parties on the second floor of his giant mansion, Jamie and Cassie Ventura, Diddy's girlfriend back then, were taken to a hidden room, like a secret clubhouse with bad vibes. Jamie said, "It was hot in there like a stuffy tunnel. I thought I saw the devil at the end, no joke. No more bright lights or fancy laughs, just creepy darkness, violence, drugs, and young women forced to do stuff they didn't want." He choked up, like he was about to cry, saying, "I saw Diddy beat Cassie so bad it made my stomach turn. He forced her to be with others, even me." I said no way, but Cassie's eyes were begging for help, like a puppy stuck in a storm. I'll never forget that look. It broke my heart. Jamie felt gross, but kept going to parties, seeing more of Hollywood's ugly side, like peeking behind a curtain and finding a mess. The final straw was watching Diddy hurt Cassie again and again, using violence to control her, like a mean kid, pushing others around. Jamie stood up to him saying, "I'm out. This isn't my world. It's too dark." Diddy smirked like a villain in a cartoon and said, "You think you can just walk away? You'll pay for it, Jamie." Jamie thought it was just talk, like an empty threat from a bully. He was so wrong, like underestimating a storm. By late 2004, Jamie's life got super dark when his grandmother, Esther Marie Talley, who raised him and taught him to chase his dreams with courage, died out of nowhere, like a light going out. In court, Jamie's voice cracked like a twig as he talked about her. "She was my everything, my sunshine, who made me the person I am today." In his sadness, Jamie turned to Diddy, thinking he was a friend, like leaning on a buddy for help. But during a drunken moment, Diddy laughed meanly like a villain and said, "You think your grandma died naturally? You thought you could just leave me?" Jamie froze, his world crashing like a dropped glass. Rage bubbled up, and he punched Diddy hard in the face, yelling, "My grandmother was innocent. Why would you do this?" Diddy just sneered like he didn't care, saying, "You're a fool, Jamie. Anyone who crosses me pays a price." Those words burned into Jamie's brain, showing Diddy as pure evil, ready to crush anyone who stood up to him, like a bully stomping on a kid's toy. This moment changed Jamie's life, like flipping a switch. He couldn't ignore Diddy's awful deeds anymore. With Cassie, who suffered so much pain from Diddy, Jamie started secretly collecting proof, like gathering clues for a detective game. Every document, recording, and memory of those horrible parties became their secret weapons, like arrows in a quiver. Jamie knew it was dangerous. Diddy would do anything to protect his empire, like a dragon guarding treasure. But fueled by his grandmother's death, anger at such evil, and care for victims like Cassie, Jamie became a quiet warrior, ready to risk it all for justice, like a hero in a story. By 2016, Jamie and Cassie decided to make their move, like planning a big surprise. They knew fighting Diddy was like facing a giant monster backed by a secret team in Hollywood. Still, their belief in doing what's right and the pain they'd seen pushed them to strike, like knights charging into battle. They released a shocking video showing Diddy brutally hitting Cassie in a fancy hotel hallway, his face twisted with anger, like a villain caught red-handed. It was meant to tear down the perfect image Diddy had built, like pulling off a mask, Jamie said in court, his voice shaking like a tree in a storm. "We thought that video would show everyone Diddy's not a music star but a cruel abuser, a real monster. But they didn't realize how strong Diddy was, or the huge web behind him, like a spider's trap." In just 30 minutes, the video vanished from the internet, like it was erased with magic. Social media, which should have helped spread the truth, blocked posts, locked accounts, and hushed supporters, like shutting a door on a shouting crowd. Cassie's lawsuit, meant to light a fire for justice, was put out fast. In less than 24 hours, it was settled out of court with vague words and money pressure that forced Cassie to back down, like being cornered in a game. In court, Jamie lowered his head, his voice heavy with sadness, saying, "We weren't just fighting Diddy. He had crooked officials, twisted news, and fancy lawyers bending the truth, like a team of villains. We were just two regular people against against a giant, unstoppable machine. Even with this setback, Jamie and Cassie kept going, like heroes who don't give up. For 7 years, they collected proof of human trafficking, drug and weapon smuggling, bribes to hide crimes, fake charities, and money laundering through secret companies, like detectives building a case. They worked in secret, knowing every step was risky, like walking on a tightrope. In court, Jamie's voice was full of fire and strength. "We knew Diddy could buy anything," he said, looking at the jury like he was talking to friends. "But we believed the truth, even if small, had its own power, like a tiny seed growing into a tree. Every document, recording, and painful memory we brought here is to stop others from hurting like we did. Diddy's powerful, but he's not untouchable, and I'm here to prove it." In 2023, after nearly 20 years hiding in fear and burning, with anger, Jamie and Cassie decided to launch their final attack against Diddy, like planning the ultimate showdown. They'd spent years gathering evidence, documents, secret recordings, and memories of Diddy's crimes, from brutal attacks to trafficking and fake charities, like building a fortress of truth. Jamie said in court, his eyes steady but full of feeling. Diddy had money, power, and a secret network protecting him, like a king with an army. But we believed the truth could bring him down, like a slingshot against a giant. They were super careful, knowing each move was dangerous, like sneaking past a sleeping dragon. But Diddy had been watching them the whole time, like a hawk eyeing its prey, letting them think they were winning. Like a sneaky villain, he waited to strike at the last second, crushing their hopes like stepping on a sandcastle. Jamie said, "I thought I was super careful. I hid my files, saved them online, and used high-tech gear, like a spy in a movie. I thought I was one step ahead. I was so wrong. He knew every move." The night before they planned to share their evidence, Diddy and his crew showed up at Jamie's house, pretending to talk about a new music project, like wolves in sheep's clothing. Jamie, always cautious, had a tiny camera sewn into his shirt button, recording everything and sending it to the cloud like a secret agent's gadget. But before he could do anything, Diddy's men threw a black sack over his head and hit him hard on the neck with a baton, like a surprise attack. Jamie collapsed, his world going dark, like falling into a deep sleep. They dragged him to an old, stinky warehouse on the edge of town, a creepy place that smelled like mold and felt like danger, like a haunted house from a scary story. Diddy was waiting, his eyes shining with cold victory, like a villain who'd won. "You dared betray me, Jamie," he growled, his voice sharp like a knife. "You and Cassie thought you could ruin me." Diddy beat Jamie hard, each hit like a hammer, trying to break his spirit. He pulled out a pill, bragging it was neurotoxin X, a secret poison from his lab that could cause strokes without a trace, like an invisible weapon. "You'll be its first test," Diddy sneered, his eyes cold as ice. His men forced Jamie's mouth open, and Diddy shoved the pill inside. The hidden camera caught Diddy's chilling words. "Sleep tight, Jamie." Jamie's body shook as the poison attacked his brain, like a storm inside his head. Diddy's crew left him in the warehouse with a broken whiskey bottle nearby, making it look like Jamie caused his own fall, like a trick to fool everyone. By pure luck, a truck driver saw Jamie and called for help, like a hero in the nick of time. Doctors worked hard, doing emergency surgery to save Jamie's brain, pulling him back from the edge, like a miracle. But Jamie fell into a deep coma, his body weak in a hospital bed, like a sleeping prince. At first, doctors thought it was a stroke from stress, and the attack was called a random robbery, like a mix-up in a mystery. The jacket with the camera was left behind, but the footage was safe online, like a treasure hidden in the clouds. Someone asked Jamie later, "What about those wild online rumors? Is the poisoning stuff true? How you feeling, man?" Jamie answered, "I'm doing good, getting stronger every day. Yeah, he tried to kill me. He's dead set on seeing me gone, not just once either." When Diddy found out Jamie survived, he freaked out, like a villain whose plan failed. He sent an assassin to the hospital to slip more neurotoxin X into Jamie's IV, making it look like a medical mix-up, like a sneaky plot. But Jamie, even half awake, sensed something weird about a strange nurse hanging around, like a gut feeling. He pretended to sleep, quietly unhooked his IV just in time, and hit the alarm button like a quick-thinking hero. The assassin ran, caught on security cameras but never naming Diddy, who used a middleman to stay hid like a puppet master. When Jamie woke up, he remembered Diddy's voice, the pill, and the dark warehouse. Like a nightmare he couldn't shake, he reached out to Cassie, who was hiding from Diddy's constant chase, like a mouse dodging a cat. She gave him a recording of Diddy talking about neurotoxin X with a chemist and a list of his fake companies, like handing over a secret map. Jamie hired a private investigator, Alex Carter, a poison expert, and told him about the hidden camera, like teaming up with a detective. Carter found Jamie's jacket in the warehouse, with the footage saved online showing Diddy talking about the poison and his plan to get rid of Jamie, like catching a villain on tape. Carter tested Jamie's hair and found traces of the poison poison, proving the attack, like finding fingerprints at a crime scene. He also checked a hospital syringe, finding neurotoxin X, and smelled Diddy's special cologne on warehouse fabric, like a clue only a detective would notice. A witness saw a black SUV like Diddy's speeding away that night, like a getaway car in a movie. Jamie remembered Diddy pitching a fake charity, which he turned down after spotting weird money stuff. The reason Diddy went after him, like a villain protecting his secrets. With Cassie and Carter's help, Jamie traced the poison lab to one of Diddy's fake companies, making their case stronger, like adding bricks to a wall. Today, in this big trial, Jamie stands tall with the camera footage, Cassie's recordings, and 19 years of evidence they collected, like a treasure chest of truth. This proof doesn't just show Diddy's bad side. It reveals a huge web of corruption protecting him. Bribed officials, fake charities, and crimes like trafficking, smuggling, and money laundering, like pulling back the curtain on a dark stage. I'm standing here for Cassie, for the women he hurt, and for my grandmother, whose life Diddy took, Jamie said, his voice strong like a hero's. He's not human. He's pure evil, like a monster in a story. Diddy's lawyers tried to paint Jamie as a liar chasing fame or revenge, like kids spreading rumors to cause trouble. But Diddy's icy stare couldn't shake the solid proof. Camera footage and documents too strong to brush off, like an unbreakable shield. People online, already side-eyeing Diddy, went wild with support, like a cheering crowd. Hashtags like Justice for Victims and Diddy Exposed blew up, with millions rooting for Jamie and Cassie, like fans at a big game. But this story's bigger than just them, like a lesson in a classroom. It makes us ask, where's the line between power and being mean? When stars like Diddy use fame to hide bad stuff, what's our job as fans, like kids who see something wrong? Who will feel this case's ripples? Victims like Cassie, who suffered quietly, might finally see justice, like a light at the end of a tunnel. But those who ignored Diddy's crimes, scared or selfish, now face the world's judgment, like getting called out in class. This case could shake Hollywood like an earthquake, showing its dark corners, like shining a flashlight under the bed. Jamie's fight teaches us the truth is worth standing up for, no matter how tough, like telling the truth, even when it's scary. But can it bring down a powerful empire? And if justice trips, how do we protect future victims, like keeping bullies away? As Jamie stepped off the stand, tears rolled down his cheeks, but a spark of hope glowed in his eyes, like a candle in the dark. His fight was for Cassie, for countless victims, and for a cleaner Hollywood, like cleaning up a messy room. But this story's not over, like a book with more chapters. Diddy's power web still looms, and deeper secrets are waiting to be found, like hidden treasure. Will justice win, like the good guys in a story? Can Jamie and Cassie step out of the shadows and shine, like stars on a clear night? To keep up with this huge trial, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for our channel, like joining a club for the latest news. Your support helps us make videos that dig into Hollywood's dark corners like explorers in a jungle. In our next video, we'll spill about other big names possibly tied to Diddy's network. You won't want to miss it, like the next episode of your favorite show. Comment below, who do you think will speak out against Diddy next? And how can we protect future victims, like keeping our friends safe?